Hello again, everybody, and welcome to SFF180. Thomas here. As always, it is Monday, the 13th of June. That's it, and time once again for the mailbag. The mailbag is back and have about 8 packages this week, including the one from the previous week. So let's get into it, because I think we need a little bit of escapism right now in our lives. We've had a fairly unpleasant weekend, to put it mildly. First thing, though, I wanted to say I'm very, very happy to see the response to the Read Virga read-along. That has been awesome. There are a little over 50 of you currently signed up in the Goodreads group. Remember, that read-along for the first 2 books in Carl Schroeder's Virga series starts the end of this month and goes through July. And so, yeah, thank you all so much for the fantastic response to that. That has been amazing. I was originally thinking, you know, if 5 people come on board this read-along, I'll consider it a wild success. But to have over 50 of you in the Goodreads group so far, and a lot of folks have, contacted me telling me that they've either put the book on hold in their libraries or have ordered it, and they're really looking forward to it. Makes me a very happy Thomas. So thank you all so much. I think you'll enjoy these books. I'm not going to say that this is like the greatest, series in science fiction history or anything, but it's accessible and enjoyable and entertaining, just terrific SF escapism. So jump on if you haven't done so yet. And with that out of the way, let us get into this week's books. All right, this first one is a package from Prometheus, the folks from Pyre. Right then, this is an arc for the 3rd book in a fantasy series that I have been curious about starting for the longest time. I've gotten all the preceding books, and I think now with the 3rd one out, it might be time to maybe try to slot this in to the review queue. But this is called Gods of Naban, and it is the 3rd book in the Marikand series. First book was called The Leopard, 2nd book was The Lady, and then before those 2, there was a standalone book called Black Dog. And so the series continues, and I am fairly curious about it. Let's see, I don't really want to give too much away. Again, don't want to be too spoilery about it. But it says, Innocent and Madman, God and Assassin. 2 men to seize an empire from the tyrannical descendants of the devil Yelin. But in war-torn Naban, enemies of the gods and humans stir in the shadows. Yelin herself meddles with the heir of her enemies and his soul-shattered companion as the fate of the empire rests on their shoulders. So as you see, it is that kind of large-scale, widescreen, Peter Jackson-y epic fantasy, all right? And so this volume comes out September the 6th. So let me know in the comments if you would like for me to get going on the Marikand novels. And here we have one of these lovely vacuum-sealed packages from Simon & Schuster. All right, this is a trade paperback of a new novel called The Binding. The author is Nicholas Wolfe. It's from Gallery Books, imprint of Simon & Schuster, and it very much looks to be horror. Says that it is in the tradition of Peter Straub, so there you are. Ah yes, terror has come to Northam, Massachusetts, because all the good horror happens way up in New England, as a brutal slaying on the local college campus shatters the tranquility of this once sleepy town. But for young psychiatrist Nat Thayer and his oldest friend, Detective John Bailey, there may be more connected to this shocking act of violence than anyone could have imagined. One of Northam's patriarchs has approached Nat with a desperate plea for help, convinced that something fearful has overtaken his daughter, Becca. Ah, so there is a supernatural element. Even though Becca is alive, she truly believes the opposite, that she was also murdered 3 weeks earlier, which Nat diagnoses as a Cotard delusion, an obscure condition sometimes described as walking corpse syndrome. I'm going to Wikipedia that. That sounds pretty cool. And as the mystery deepens, Nat and John soon understand that sinister forces may have been resurrected from Northam's disturbing history, and that some malignant secrets were not meant to stay hidden forever. Ooh, neat. So yes, I guess if you like that King and Straub flavor of horror, The Binding might very well be your cup of tea. Let's see, comes out, it says June the 28th from Gallery Books. Okay, big white envelope, probably a Tor title. Usually is. It is. This is The Weaver's Lament. It's by Elizabeth Hayden. Let's see, it comes out, it says, on the 21st of June, so next week, and this is said to be the final book in her ongoing series Symphony of Ages, which started way, way back when with a book called Rhapsody. And let's see, it says, for 1,000 years, the lands ruled by the Cimmerian Alliance have been at peace When the brutal death of a dear friend catapults the kingdom to the brink of civil war, Rhapsody finds herself in an impossible situation, forced to choose between her beloved husband Ash and her two oldest friends, Grunthor and Ahmed, and it goes on like that. I reviewed Rhapsody, thought it was a few too many sort of romantic elements with one of those idealized protagonists, as it were. But it appears to be a series that has pleased a great many people. I could very well continue it, who knows? It's just the books are, doorstopper length. But this one, not so much. But anyway, The Weaver's Lament completes this saga next Tuesday, June the 21st. And this is a Random Penguin title. And this is the very lovely finished hardcover edition of Michael Sullivan's Age of Myth. This is the first volume in a new series called Legends of the First Empire, and I'm quite eager to start this, actually. This comes out on the 28th. There were actually loads of arcs of this floating around a Nebula weekend. I picked one up, and I sent it to Sam over at Sam's Nonsense, and because she was like, and she jumped out of her skin. She was so excited because she loves some Michael J. Sullivan. She does. But I was very disappointed because she said she squeed, like literally physically squeed when she got the book, but she didn't video it. So I want all of you to go over to Sam's channel and demand that she do the squee video, the Michael J. Sullivan squee video, and tell her I sent you, okay? So do that. We need a squee video from Sam on this, I do believe. All right, anyway, what does this say? Since time immemorial, humans have worshipped the gods they call Frey. F-H-R-E-Y, truly a race apart, invincible in battle, masters of magic, and seemingly immortal. But when a god falls to a human blade, the balance of power between humans and those they thought were gods changes forever. Now only a few stand between humankind and annihilation. Wraith, reluctant to embrace his destiny as the god killer. Well, to be fair, Christopher Hitchens probably already, filled that post. Ciri, a young seer burdened by signs of impending doom. And Persephone, who must overcome personal tragedy to lead her people. The Age of Myth is over. The time of rebellion has begun. Okay, so, end of the month, Age of Myth. Yeah, I'd very much like to read this, but let me know what you think in the comments, okay? And another title from Tor, it would seem. It is, and this is a new title from Tor Teen that I have been seeing them, spread a little bit of buzz about, and I've been really excited about it because it looks badass. Check this out. It is, it's called Steeplejack, as you see. The author is A.J. Hartley. This drops on tomorrow, on the 14th. And let's see, wow, loads of pull quotes here, but let me get to the actual, here it is. 17-year-old Anglet Sutonga, Ang for short, repairs the chimneys, towers, and spires of Bar Salem, the ethnically diverse industrial capital of a land resembling Victorian South Africa. The city was built on the trade of luxorite, a priceless glowing mineral. When the beacon, a historical icon made of luxorite, is stolen, it makes the headlines. But no one cares about the murder of Ang's new apprentice Barrett except for Josiah Willinghouse, an enigmatic young politician who offers Ang a job investigating Barrett's death. On top of this, Ang struggles with the responsibility of caring for her sister's newborn child. As political secrets unfold and racial tensions surrounding the beacon's theft rise, Ang navigates the constricting traditions. Use your words, Thomas. Of her people, the murderous intentions of her former boss, and the conflicting impulses of a fledgling romance, with no one to help her except a savvy newspaper girl and a kind-hearted herder from the savannah. Ang must resolve the mysterious link between Barrett and the missing beacon before the city is plunged into chaos. Fresh take on historical fantasy attuned to today's demand for multicultural YA, Steeplejack will resonate with all readers. I think it sounds like a load of fun. But let me know in the comments what you think. Victorian, historical, steampunk, murder, mystery, diverse, etc., etc. Yeah, so it ticks off all the boxes. So, like I said, in the comments, let me know what you think. Moving down the pile, another title from Macmillan. And this is an arc for Eternity's Mind. This is the third book in the Saga of Shadows trilogy by Kevin J. Anderson, which is mainly known for having been sad puppied onto the the final Hugo ballot last year for the previous volume, I think, or the first one actually, The Dark Between the Stars. But apart from that, it is sort of kind of its own space opera thing, and Kevin J. Anderson has had a long space opera history, before any of that, and so this takes place in the same universe as a long-running series that he had some years back called something like the Saga of the Seven Sons or the Empire of the Seven. I'm sorry, my memory cells aren't quite sharp on this. So yeah, a new trilogy. Oh, here it is. Yes, the Saga of Seven Sons. Got it. And so the books in order are Dark Between the Stars, Blood of the Cosmos, and now Eternity's Mind, Book 3. So if you are already a fan of this series, and Kevin J. Anderson generally, well, you'll be very happy to know that this comes out in September. Turn the page. Here it is, September the 13th, from Tor. Moving on down, second to last package is a random Penguin title of some such. And happy, happy, joy, joy, this is the Nightmare Stacks from Charlie Stross. This is the newest volume of his ongoing Laundry Files series, which is an absolutely delightful series. Very much unlike anything else that he writes. The idea is that there is a branch of British intelligence whose entire job is to monitor and the activities of the old ones, like the Lovecraftian gods and mythos and that sort of thing. So let's see, what have we had before? Atrocity Archives, the Jennifer Morgue, the Fuller Memorandum, the Apocalypse Codex, the Rhesus Chart, the Annihilation Score, and now the Nightmare Stacks. And the funny thing is that they did not put a cell sheet in with this one. But I am going to assume that it is coming out imminently since this is a finished copy. So a June title from Charles Stross could very well be out tomorrow. The Nightmare Stacks. And last but not least, we finish up this week with a Tor title. And this is another one that has had me really quite intrigued. This is a new novel by Laura Lamb. It's called False Hearts, and it's described as Orphan Black meets Inception. So there you are. This comes out tomorrow. It says, in this twisty and unique SF thriller, a young woman must go undercover to save her formerly conjoined twin, who, although science had separated her from years ago, a mysterious shared past keeps them forever entwined. Lamb paints a fascinating depiction of the near-future San Francisco, in which citizens are tracked by technology where crime has been eradicated and people live out their urges for rage, pain, and power through a dream-inducing drug. Raised in the closed cult of Mana's Hearth and denied access to modern technology, conjoined sisters Tiama and Tila, or Tama and Tila, one of those, dream of a life beyond the walls of the compound. When the heart they share begins to fail, the twins escape to San Francisco, where they are surgically separated and given new artificial hearts. From then, they pursue lives beyond anything they could have previously imagined. 10 years later, Tila returns one night to the twins' home in the city, terrified and covered in blood. Just before the police arrive and arrest her for murder, the first homicide by a civilian in decades. Tila is suspected of involvement with the Rattel, a powerful crime syndicate that deals in the flow of zeal, a drug that allows violent minds to enact their darkest desires in a terrifying dreamscape. Let's see, there we are. Atima is given a proposition: go undercover as her sister and perhaps save her twin's life. But during her investigation, Tama discovers disturbing links between the twins' past and their present. Once unable to keep anything from each other, the sisters now discover the true cost of secrets. This sounds frickin' great. I may start you tonight. Exploring the psychology of politics of family, desire, technology, and violence, Laura Lamb has crafted a fascinating novel that will appeal to fans of speculative fiction and thrillers. So let's see, comes out tomorrow from Tor, Laura Lamb's False Hearts. Let me know in the comments. And that is it, everybody. A terrific week, I must say. I think there is some fantastically exciting stuff in this batch. But as always, you know the drill. Fire up the comments, let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you, which you would like to see me prioritize for review, and otherwise, if you enjoyed watching, slam that like button, share this video far and wide with all your SFF reading friends, and above all, sub if you have not done so, please. That is how SFF180 grows as a channel. And until I see all of you awesome people next week, or in the next video, happy reading.